if you're with 2 people and your boat capsizes, and again, you're in deep water, synchronized, flip the boat over. One person lays their body kind of over the boat while the other person belly crawls in, and then that person grabs their paddle, leans the opposite direction of the person who's getting in, and then they belly crawl up into it. And this is a hatch right here. If you have something that absolutely positively cannot get wet, you can put it in here. In theory, there you go. So, and there is moisture in there, but again, if your boat capsizes, you don't have to worry about your keys going to the bottom of the lagoon. So, but it's also freestanding. So when you get back, you're going to have to put that boat up on end to get your equipment back.
One thing that I would try to add is if you have 2 guides, have one be lead and one sweep. That's especially out on the river, and when it's windy here, I think that's super important because once you get out of earshot, it's very difficult to get people's attention. That also brings us to whistles too. Yeah, 1 whistle is I need your attention. 2 whistles is I need your attention and I need to talk to you, so come to me. 3 is something horrible has happened. Everybody out of the water. Pretty easy.
Yeah, and we will when we get PFDs. We'll have whistles. That's a really good point.
Yeah, I'm not sure I would give it to everybody, but your 2 guides, and then if you do the lead and sweep, that keeps everybody sandwiched in between. And I think you got to train your guides to be pretty aggressive on that, to make sure everybody's staying in between them. Yeah, and you can make that float as long as you want or as short as you want, because we've had people that are all buddy and they're talking to each other and their kayaks are that far from each other. We've had people that totally want to go way out, and you can still do that as long as you keep that sweep in the back and that lead in the front.
We're gonna come up with some materials to sort of give you some information about, some talking points about the bay or about the Laguna and about the Refuge, and so when you get out on the water, you can talk about it. So it's an educational component too. We're not just trying to get people out on the water. We want to teach them something about
that needs to be. So the education component is kind of important to us because it allows us to do something different like this, and because, for instance, just kayaking or biking for biking's sake is not something we have the authority to do on National Wildlife Refuge. So try to keep the nature element into it. I think it's important to be pure to that.
So then you want it kind of advertised as primarily nature-oriented, but secondary would be the kayaking?
Yeah, it's not really wildlife watching because obviously we can't guarantee that, but yeah, experiencing the refuge and learning.
Having some ability to interpret what's going on with the Laguna Madre, Laguna Atascosa, and having a good experience while you're out here.
What's the best thing is don't let go of your paddle.
Yes.
Flip or just hold on to your paddle. It is.
Paddle is your buddy. Yes.
Yeah, it's not a big deal. Yeah, fall in, get wet. Before it's over with, you're probably going to want to get wet anyway. So.
The main thing you can do as a guide is to keep your voice pretty much just like this. Because if hey, there's a shark over there, and you've just created a panic when it's, hey, we've got a shark surfacing over there. Why didn't everybody just take a look? You can continue paddling, don't paddle towards it, and then just keep walking. Another thing to remind them about, they are going into a habitat that there are, risks for injuries, whether it's walking stuff down or the skates if you step out. So remind them about, we want to be conscientious of skates, and they're getting out to skates. Raise, I should say, is to shuffle your feet. Make certain that they can go ahead. It's probably mostly sand out there. But there will be jellyfish.
A tip sheet, fact sheet.
I think that's a great idea. That's a really good idea.
What we found the biggest trip killer is the missing expectations. That is, our expectations don't meet the participants' expectations. Yeah.
When you're paddling the Laguna Madre, one of the things that you want to really be careful about is not impacting the seagrass beds. One of the problems that we face in this system is that we're losing our seagrass beds. So as kayakers, one of the things that we can be really careful of is not digging deep. When you do a really deep stroke, then if your paddle's coming up with mud, you're going too deep. And so just be careful about the seagrass beds because we're out here to learn about them and protect them, not create another problem.
We'll look around and see what kind of people you've got in the group. Try to make them feel comfortable to kind of be honest about how far they can paddle. The best way to do that is paddle alongside and kind of be discreet. Everybody's a little bit sensitive of not wanting to hold up the group. One way to get people together and have a talk with them and to give people time to rest is you find a place where everyone you can stand out of the kayak. You can either hold on to people's kayaks like I'm doing, and just talk to them and give them a chance to rest. Do a little education while you're there, or everyone can get out, splash around, and have a fun little wet time. One of my plans is to bring an anchor in my guide kayak so I can anchor out my kayak. We're going to have rope on all the kayaks, or a few of them. That way we have for security of towing people, and also we could tie off. Eventually it might be nice when we'll stop and everybody takes a swim, the kayaks are tied together. Keep an eye on it though. The biggest thing if you do ever do that is paddles. Remember, paddles are your friend and your lifesaver. So if you ever do it, don't count on the people getting out of their boat. Be conscientious of how they're securing their paddle. You'll need to go over and make certain it's secure. Don't just ask. Worst thing you can have happen here is lose a paddle. As well as you thought they were. So do not get up real slowly.
July 11th, 2009. Kemps Ridley dead on the shore near Stover Point.